The senseless murder of a man in Minneapolis had repercussions to the police profession around the world.
Tonight, we're getting a unique perspective from Assistant Chief there, Ryan Lee, who is leaving the Portland Police Bureau after 20 years. Our Dan Tilkin sat down with Lee to talk about what does need to change and really how to make change, Dan.
Well, tomorrow is Lee's last day before he begins his new job as Chief of Police in Boise. And now he was the only person of color until Monday when the Chief's on the Chief's command staff. And he has ideas about how police can do better with the public's help.
I don't know, I'd say that there's a systemic problem in the police bureau. I think that that is entirely too simple of an answer.
Chief Ryan Lee says we should be asking how to address long-standing inequalities.
If we recognize that it's an inescapable truth that addiction and poverty often are disproportionately played out in communities of color, what are we doing to help those communities? We're really talking about a small outward-facing appearance of a greater challenge. It's easy to identify the police because we wear a uniform, we stand out as the most visible member of government, but this is really a much larger social challenge I think we need to look at collectively.
Lee also says police need more opportunities to connect with the public, but says staffing shortages make community policing difficult.
They have very little discretionary time in their day. We need to be able to connect back to the community. We need to be able to stem off problems before they become larger, before they become those issues. We can only really do that if the community sees us as part of them.
Horrified by what he saw happen to George Floyd, Lee wants more police training nationwide. He says in some places, officers only get 2 weeks.
We as a nation have to recognize that, and if we want a higher standard of policing, we need to actually have a standard.
Lee is considered an expert in crowd control, but has not been part of policing the current demonstrations because he's leaving the Bureau. I asked him to critique what has happened, but he declined. He says Portland police need help from people peacefully demonstrating to weed out those doing violence. He also says new Chief Chuck Lavelle is the right man at the right time to move the Bureau forward.
As I've had the good fortune of working for near 20 years around some of the finest people that I've ever known. They have an incredible heart. They care about the community. I hope that the community can get to a place where they understand that as well.
So I also asked him about the calls to defund the police bureau, and of course that means different things to different people. While he wants the bureau to adapt, he says it would be an incredible challenge in almost any major city with modern problems to significantly scale back a police force.
Good interview though, Dan. Thanks.